Such misplaced zeal. Their eyes remain closed to the true path. Not like you.
Welcome back to another WoW gold making video. Today we'll be discussing the truth about 8.3 and gold making, farming spot types, and more. But before we get into that, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button to get notified when I release my content and all juicy gold guides. The first thing on our agenda is farming types. I plan on doing more in-depth video on this, but this is something I want to discuss. As you can see on screen, I'm at Blood's Gate. There are usually bad type mobs here. Also, blood NPCs. As you can see, Alliance is here fighting the Horde. This is part of the war campaign. Only at a certain point does it show up like this. And like I said before, it's going to be the other mobs if you're not on the campaign no more. I did show this spot about a year ago, if not longer than that, and it was actually a good spot for everybody to do. But other than that, this is something that I don't think a lot of people know of, and I call them scene farms. And the reason why I call them this is because people who actually pass this part of the war campaign or before this cannot come here and see this little scene here. It's just us. Now, with that said, is it worth it? Yes, guys, it actually is really worth doing these. I've showed a spot in the past, and it was actually a scene spawn on Alliance side. As whenever Ashvan attacks, you're going to see a lot of people there. Now, before it got nerfed, it was one of the best scene spawns out there because no one bothered you, and the only people you saw was people doing the war campaign. And honestly, whenever you did this by yourself, you would get a lot of greens, a lot of cloth, and so forth. This is the same thing with Bloodgate. Bloodgate is actually going to be giving a lot more than actually the Ashvan spot, and is going to give you tons of cloth, tons of greens, and also too as well deep sea plus raw gold. There will be a full breakdown in the near future. At this moment, I just want to actually throw out there that scene farming is a thing, and I know you probably have your doubts because this is not a mainstream thing. This is actually going to be my own thing that I created, and a lot of people don't cover this at all. And sometimes it's not worth covering, but most of the time, if you find those sweet spots, you're going to be actually doing pretty good. Just like I showed a Demon Hunter spot in the past, which is actually basically the starting zone of the Alliance. You just stay in toll. Boom, you're done. You don't have to worry about people. You just keep farming levels, and you actually farm a lot of green and so forth. I did a whole video on it. I'll link it in the description, guys. It's something really fun for you demon hunters out there that you can do because anybody could do it, but I find that the demon hunters were the best to do it. Now, with that said, guys, let's move on to the next thing. I don't want to actually carry on with this too long, so I'll see you over there. So this next thing is something I'm going to be talking from my heart, and the reason why I say it like that is because of the reality of 8.3 and the state of it is right now. Now, I will be covering some farming stuff after this, but if you want to skip this part, I will put a timestamp and it will be in the comment section. You can just skip that over. But if you're staying here, guys, this is going to be something that I think that needs to be discussed, and the big elephant in the room needs to be pointed out, is that 8.3 is not farm friendly. And you might disagree with me. You might say, well, you could do this, which we'll go over in the next section. But honestly, in all, it is not farm friendly. And the reason why it is not farm friendly is because first off, no greens drop. There literally is no greens at all. And the reason why is because I think they don't want people to do this anymore. I think they're going towards more to the point of, yeah, we're going to have the greens drop in certain locations, but I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't want you to be here like 30 hours and, killing mobs that people need. And it makes sense, but in the same time, this is stupid. And the reason why I say it's stupid is not because, oh, I can't make videos anymore. No, nothing like that. It's because how can people and gold farmers and so forth that want to actually farm current content stay active, stay to the point where, hey, you know what? I like this content. I don't have to grind rares or grind rep every day, which this is a grind fest now. Literally, I'm sorry to say it like this, and I apologize for anybody who thinks I'm going against Blizzard because I'm not. I love Blizzard. I love the actually game, but 8.3 is a grind fest. I love it. It's fun to me because I spent a couple months in it in PTR just doing it, but it's something that you cannot actually just ignore. There are so many grind fest in here that you're like, damn, I'm gonna have to be here for a long time. Rep, to be honest with you, 3 quests a day is just plainly just stupid. You should be allowed to actually get more rep, every day instead of actually just 3 quests and a few kills and so forth. I mean, one of the biggest things that I do like is actually killing the 122 mobs. You get 500 AP plus. AP is a big thing, and actually I do amend them for that because I'm going to say right now they made it where you could get to 75 within a week. It's crazy, guys. Now, I do want to say for gold, this is what we're talking about. They made it harder for us. They made these mobs very hard, just like an Edge. This is something we expected, okay? I even told you that it's no point coming here to actually farm stuff that you could farm in the old world. Or actually, when I say old world, I mean BFA content. You can actually go get better farms for silk. I mean, not silk, but cloth or deep sea. Yes, deep sea drops a lot more here, but go somewhere else. There's so many other places you could get so much more instead of actually taking a group or you actually have to kill mobs like slower here. So with that said, guys, I honestly think this might be something to come. And what I mean by that is that they might be testing some things. They might say, okay, well, we're gonna let them get stuff for professions. We're gonna let some things drop, but we're not gonna be able to have them farm an hour or 2 hours here because they're doing it for the greens or they're doing for this. Now I hope this is not a trend. I really, really hope it's not, because the reason why I say this might be a trend is because the visions are what is going to be in the tower in Shadowlands. They even stated in the interview that they're testing this stuff out because the tower type thing is going to be a bigger upgrade from visions and so forth. So let's hope these zones with no drops of greens and stuff like that is not a test of what Shadowland is going to be, because that's going to be hard to make gold and it's going to be a challenge. But to be honest, there's some things you can make gold here, and we're going to go over it, and we're going to see how big of an impact it is or an unimpact it is in this next section. So I'll see you right there. Fish. This is one of the major things you can actually farm in the new zones. You can range from anywhere from 140 to 200 malformed and void fin each. Now you can do this in pools or open water, but in pools you have a chance to get Bottle of Gloop, which teaches you how to summon a pet. Now I showed you this before 8.3, the day before it, and I told you, hey, get prepared for this, do this. I hope some of y'all actually did. I can confirm so far this only drops in pools from Nazaroth invasion area, meaning that it has to have the purple thing around the zone, and it has to be like that. Okay, if it's not, you won't get it from there. As far as I could tell, I've done this for a couple hours, and I've always got it from those zones. Now it did take about an hour and 1 minute to get my first one, and the same thing, not a whole total an hour and minute. It took about another 40 minutes to get another one. So they're not rare. They're uncommon. So if you have them, sell them. And to be honest, it's actually gonna drop in price a lot. So you might want to try to sell them as soon as you can. I do want to say too as well is that of course you can go get questionable meat from a lot of mobs. They drop a lot too from other mobs. Now I did show you that in that previous video too as well. Is something that you're gonna want to do before reset on Tuesday, because people are gonna buy that for the insanity food. Which I'm gonna be honest with you, all this stuff is gonna go down in price very fast because they're so simple to get compared to other food type of things. Now let's actually go to the next thing. Another thing you could do is actually farm corrupt vision currency. This is by doing world quests in zone, chest, rares, and dailies. But I'm gonna be honest with you, there's not that much gold in that. I mean, what are you gonna get gold out of it? Just a rep? I mean, the rep is gonna get you to the contracts and so forth. I mean, that's one of the main things you are going for, is get to enough rep to get to contracts and start selling the contracts. A lot of people are gonna buy those up just to get past this point, because I can see this getting tedious over time, because Natchar was for a lot of people, and these two zones, or four zones actually, is going to be the same thing, and I feel sorry for a lot of people who have to do this daily. Don't get me wrong, I have to do this daily too as well, but I love it. So with that said, let's move on to the next thing, which brings us to rare farming. Every day, try to kill at least rares with pet drops, because they sell, and over time, as anything, is going to actually go down in price, and some will actually stay the same or actually go a little bit less down because their rarity and how often they drop. Which brings us to the old world herbing and farm. So the thing is that this is old world zones, but just made anew with evasions. Now they still do actually have herbs, like for potion of treasure farming, which you can actually farm here in Uldum. And I'm gonna say right now is that I will have a whole guide of doing this. I did this a long time ago, a long time ago. I'm talking about like at least 3 years ago, and it's gonna be easy to do because there's gonna be tons of them up. And if you're a herbalist and you go in here and just pick those, you're gonna be able to make those potions, and they do go for a lot right now. But be prepared for them to actually go down probably to 500 because of this. A lot of people are going to be doing old content with new content, which is pretty cool. I think that if they did this in the future, if they actually brung out where you can actually go to old world zones and actually do new content and then farm old stuff, which will actually help professions all the way around for people and get stuff up. Now, I do want to say right now that you can farm sky shards too as well. I got one on a live server, which is just another gold making way that's actually going to be less value compared to what it was in 8.3. So with that said, guys, I honestly want y'all to realize that there is not that many few gold making ways in 8.3. There is some, but it's not many. So I think 8.3 is great and fun. But as a gold maker, due to reasons shown above and the absence of green drops, maybe greens will drop Tuesday. I don't really know. Well, professions are going to drop Tuesday, but if they don't, I will say that 8.3 is not a gold friendly patch at all. So with that said, guys, if you like this content and you think 8.3 is great and everything, great. And I love it. I love it too as well. But if you want to see more farms and get that gold where there is gold, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And to be honest with you, I'm sorry for delaying the video. It was actually a real life issue with my computer. I had to do a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go in detail with it. But if you want to help out with it, if you want to help out with other things, hit that Patreon button in the description, guys. And I want to say thank you so much to every single one of you out there who is a Patreon. Y'all went the extra mile, and thank you so much for actually supporting my Patreon. Until next time, as always, stay stashy.